kitchen has evolved far beyond a place to cook. Today, it's the heart of the modern home, a space where design, technology, and lifestyle come together. As homes become more open and design-led, kitchens are expected to be as intuitive and functional as they are beautiful, with integrated appliances becoming an essential part of the overall architectural vision. Hello and welcome to liebherr Kitchen Design Masters, inspiring excellence in partnership with News 18 Network. I'm mridu, Bhandari. For decades, liebherr has been synonymous with German engineering and innovation in refrigeration. Through Kitchen Design Masters, the brand is celebrating the architects and interior designers redefining kitchen design in India with creativity, functionality, and innovation. Joining me is Kapil Agarwal, Managing Director, Sales at liebherr Appliances India, who will share the vision behind this unique initiative. We are also joined by Reza Kabul, Principal Architect at ARK Reza Kabul Architects, Monica Chawla, Creative Head at Essentia Environments, and Rajiv Mishra, Principal of Sir J.J. College of Architecture. Joining us virtually are Jimmy Mistry, Founder and CMD, Della Townships, Nozer Wadia, Principal Architect, Nozer Wadia Associates, and Michelin star chef Suvir Saran. Together, they form our distinguished jury, bringing expertise from architecture, design, culinary arts, and academia to identify India's most inspiring kitchens. Welcome to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us here today. Wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Kapil, I want to start by asking you, what was the thought behind the entire campaign? What made you think that this is a time when in India now we should be looking at kitchen design and recognizing and celebrating kitchen design?
So Mridu, thank you very much, first of all, for the fantastic introduction you gave us. And see, the whole concept is a kind of a journey which we realized at every point. So we begin with launching the fully integrated production in India about a year back. Then after 3 months, we launched a design circle, which is a community of the architects. We started connecting with them. That time we realized in India, there is nowhere where the kitchens are given the kind of due importance what it needs. So there is nowhere we are talking about how the kitchen should be made. So what everybody is asking for: a beautiful kitchen, beautiful home, beautiful kitchen. But what goes in making a kitchen functional at the same time beautiful, the importance of the architect is missing. So the whole idea was to, why don't we bring out the best of the work which is done by the architects to the front, and people can see how that limited space of 200, 300, 400 square feet can turn out to be a beautiful kitchen. Yeah. And liebherr is an integral part of that.
And what's the impact you're hoping to create within the architect and interior designer community with this campaign?
See, already so far there are just feelers we have sent to the the community which we have created, design circle. We are seeing a lot of excitement. People are giving us the entry, and even with the interaction what we had, we ourselves are learning how the kitchen should be made. So I think this program is going to bring that concept into the light, that how you should make kitchen and what are the things you should be careful about. I'm looking forward to this.
Reza, building on what Kapil just said, kitchens have become the heart of the modern home, not just in India, everywhere in the world perhaps now. How has that changed the architect's role? How do you look at kitchens now as compared to, let's say, 10, 15 years ago? And are integrated appliances becoming a must-have slowly?
Let me just go back a little bit, where the kitchen was like outside the house. It was not in the house. It was because we had wood fire kitchens. We had kerosene being used in the kitchen. So at that time, it was like a taboo. It was outside the house because the house used to come, full of smoke and, soot in the kitchen. So it was outside the house. But with the introduction of gas and then later on the induction cooking, the kitchen started coming into the house. And once it came to the house and the families started becoming nuclear families, so the kitchen started becoming a part of the living room itself. It's in a lot of cases now we see that we have integrated kitchens. We've got an extension to the living room. It makes the living room larger. The family, it becomes like a family event on a Sunday or a weekend. They're cooking together. Especially COVID taught us, that we could actually cook together and have, fun while cooking. So it became like a, actually lifestyle. And that's how the entire thing has changed. I would say that kitchen should be more functional, and that's the main key.
All right. Jimmy, I'd like you to add on to that, please. Beyond aesthetics, what do today's homeowners look for in a kitchen? And as an architect, has your view of the kitchen changed in the last couple of years?
It is extremely important for us to understand that Indian consumer, India is like a continent. It's not one consumer. You can't put all consumers seeking kitchens in India into one bracket. There are large homes, there are mid-size homes, and then there are small flats. All three consumers are quite different, and the requirements and needs of all three are very different. In a large home, invariably in today's day and age, the consumers are seeking for two kitchens. One is a back of the house kitchen with a wet area and a dry area, and one is a front of the house kitchen where post COVID the family wishes to cook breakfast and lunches and meals together. uh, the daughters want to try being a patisserie and so on and so forth. So the whole idea is the consumer who's got a large home is seeking for two kitchens, and a consumer which has got a mid-size home. So I would categorize a mid-size home, anything from up to 5,000 square feet would come into a mid-size category. And mid-size home also desires to have two kitchens, but invariably lands up with one kitchen. But definitely the wet areas are different and they are hidden behind the house. So these kitchens, the consumers are looking to have high-end design, integrated appliances, and yet have the pot wash area to be separate. The smaller flats don't have much of a choice. Like Reza said earlier, kitchens are moving into the living rooms looking at the European and American standards. But there's a caveat here from my side. As a designer, the way I would begin designing a home or a kitchen is by looking at what you eat as a family. Are you having moreover an Indian food? Are you moreover fond of Conti food? Are you into Chinese cuisine? What kind of food do you cook at home? And the kitchen has to be designed around it. So there are consumers are different, and it is a job of the designer to educate the consumer. Because when you give them the right advice, they'll end up enjoying the fruits of what they've created in their homes. The only difference between global population and Indian is Indian homes invariably have servants cooking meals and helping, whereas Europeans and Americans lack that luxury. And I think that's what differentiates us in our approach towards kitchens and kitchen appliances. Now the kitchen appliances have moved in the front end. There was a time when people would say that servants will handle. Today, even the servants are provided the best of equipment to use, and integrated equipments, built-in equipments are the style and design of the day and the necessity of the day.
Right. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for making those very interesting points. Monica, coming to you, building on what Jimmy just said about having perhaps two kitchens if the space permits. Beyond that, we are also looking at wellness. We are looking at a healthy lifestyle. Today's consumers are very conscious. The urban premium consumers especially are very conscious of the lifestyle, health. Everyday living now comes together in all of the home, including the kitchen. So in that sense, how have client expectations evolved over the last couple of years? And has your own design sense also evolved along with those expectations?
Absolutely. In fact, this was a very interesting article I was reading just 2 or 3 days ago. Why are Indian women losing interest in cooking? We used to take so much pride in, getting the house together, the family together. Why have we lost that slightly? Do you know why? Because it's made to sound like it's a punishment. Go to the kitchen while we sit and enjoy the football match. Could you please cook this and make this while we play a game of, chess or rummy? So what has happened now is it's our job now, what everybody else was also saying, bring the kitchen to become your spaces, your home's nervous system, literally. You have to bring it in and you have to make it multitask. You don't cook 24/7, but with smaller apartments, compact spaces, you want to be able to use your kitchen for varied usages or, events, or, I want to sit at a clean kitchen island counter and work from home sometimes, But I don't want it to always look like a kitchen. I want it to look like it's an integrated part of my lounge, a breakout space. I don't want to be reminded of my chores all the time as a woman. I think I'm the only woman here, so I can,
me too.
totally, you'll get it. You'll get this. So and I'm so glad that now even all the men in India, be it remote cities or, all the fancy cities here, we're all, very becoming emotionally connected to the girls of the house, the elderly women of the house, and everybody wants to pitch in. Why it didn't happen earlier? Because the kitchens were messy, they were unorganized, they were not beautiful, they were not multitasking. Now it looks like an extension of your TV lounge, Of course, with a smart back of the house. And if you can't have a smart back of the house, then functional, beautifully planned kitchens,
And what role does refrigeration play in that?
A lot, First of all, I don't want to see messy, bulky fridges, which are an eyesore. People spend a lot of money right now on maybe a built-in coffee machine, which they don't even need or use sometimes. But it just looks fancy. So I say, get away, get off the frills. Like you were saying, understand how people cook, right? So if you're not a coffee person, you don't really need it because the designer plugged it in. You need a smart fridge, which is compact, which can free you up from grocery shopping too frequently. People who go prep their own meals before gymming, people who are into wellness, they want to fit and forget. They want to stock the fridge up on the weekend and not worry about it till Thursday, right? Working women. So it's very important to have a compact, beautiful, functional fridge that gives me that duo cooling, gives me efficiency, and I don't want dirty fingerprint marks, because you get your anti-fingerprint cabinetry now. I want it to blend in. And while I'm not using it, let's say there's a friend over and we want to chit-chat, I don't want the kitchen looking like a kitchen. It should wear a look of a bar or a little extra, absolutely, a smart dining, and
Absolutely.
So it needs to be fun. It needs to be clean.
Nozer, you've designed private residences for some of India's most discerning families for about 4 decades now. So if you were to think about what makes a kitchen really timeless, what would you say about that? And what is the role that appliances like refrigerators or other integrated appliances, what role are they playing in making the kitchen timeless?
What makes the kitchen timeless, of course, is eventually the type of food that you churn out from it. So that dictates the kind of appliances that one has to have in the kitchen. If you have a lot of Asian food, your hobs or your stoves have to be designed accordingly. Today, with refrigerators, you don't really need to stock up too much equipment, too much stuff in the house. You can call up for a Swiggy or whatever, so you can stock only as much as you need for the week. Everything in the kitchen today has become integrated. Kitchens have become sculptural pieces in many homes, the front end kitchens. Today, we are facing a situation where we have 3 kitchens in a home. The messy kitchen, which is normally a veranda outside the house and utla kind of thing. Then the prep kitchen, which is to do all the noisy, messy washing, cleaning work. And for the family to live as one, this has happened post-COVID. COVID has taught us many things, and one of them is how to live like a family, how men spend more time in a home Earlier, the men used to get up in the morning, have their breakfast, and go to work and didn't care what the house was all about. What COVID has taught the men actually is that they need to provide for a great home for their family and for themselves. We have seen post-COVID the size of apartments changing, the requirements changing, uh, the family living together around the kitchen. The wife does not have to be relegated to the back of the house to do stuff. And you normally land up making things for yourself. You have your own coffee machine, your own refrigerator, you have your own stove, your own hob, and you started doing all these things on your own, even when you have guests and you're entertaining. So that's when you don't want anything which is any different from your showing off spaces or your living spaces to the back of the house. So the kitchens have become extremely important and a daily part of life.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, Nozair, and bringing Rajiv into the conversation as well. Rajiv, now you're the only one here dealing with aspiring architects, the architects of tomorrow, teaching them what kitchens of tomorrow should look like. Now, from what we've heard, there's a lot of expectation from the humble kitchen of the house. So what is it that you are teaching young minds today in terms of, functionality, design thinking, integration of technology, integrated appliances, and all of that?
See, in an institution, when we have to sensitize students towards kitchen design, we do three things. The first thing we explain is that this is a place where if you paid attention to, you can win hearts of the people through food. So you have to understand that you are going into a space where you're going to do something that will win people's heart. So it has to be good. It cannot be bad. The second thing is that if you help the cook work efficiently through equipments, through work environment, then he's definitely going to come out with good food.
Yeah.
Because it affects the
You're making their
environment.
life
It affects the
easier.
environment.
Yeah.
And the third thing is you need to understand technology and the building material. If you use the right building material that saves water, that is energy conscious, that equipment that will save your time while you cook food in an easy, comfortable way, then you're doing a good kitchen. But this is one aspect of three things. The third, I think, which I was trying to say while explaining equipment, we explain to students the typology of kitchens. So it is not home kitchen. It is also barbecue kitchen. It's five-star hotel kitchen. It is industrial kitchen. So we need to tell them the types of kitchens which can go in a long way and then can become a proposal for design. Design is something that you do that makes your client who's having whatever room they want to work in feel good about it. Be respectful about it. And then while you are there, you want to go back again to do something better. So I think in any space that offers happiness makes kitchen one of the most happiest place.
Totally.
Right.
And I think it is something which is not gender based. We don't bring in gender for kitchen. We want people to like to go to a workplace so that whatever they generate, they are releasing creative energy out of kitchen through food.
Yes.
And therefore, kitchen has to be creative. Kitchen has to look good. Kitchen has to be clean. And therefore, everything that you do, to do a good kitchen, you need to know the following points. And therefore, as part of the study, we also get a chance to take them to a five-star hotel to show them a kitchen. We take them to a restaurant to show them kitchen. We take them to a commercial establishments which have kitchens on the terraces so that they understand the varieties of a good functional kitchen. And learn what equipments could actually make things better. A smoky kitchen is a bad design. So I think if equipments that can be brought in based on the space available in a kitchen, then you're actually doing something good for the cook, who will do good for everyone that he cooks food for.
All right, so let's also hear from the only chef on our panel today, Chef Suvir. You've cooked in kitchens across the world, Michelin kitchens, farm kitchens, and home kitchens. In your experience, what transforms a kitchen from a functional space into one that truly inspires creativity and great cooking.
A kitchen where everything is just circumspect. It's meant to be where it is. You're not colliding with either equipment or yourself and are at odds with what's around you. So it's all about feng shui, about the how you organize the kitchen. So when you're setting up a kitchen, it's very important to have a designer who understands your needs, your cooking style, what kind of food you'll be cooking, what equipment you want. And I think always the refrigeration has to be no more than an arm's length away, because we are always reaching out for ingredients. So I say everything in the kitchen has to be 2 arms at most. If you're having to go more than that, you are stressing yourself, you are upset, you are clumsy, you drop. And so smart kitchen is a tight kitchen where thought has been put into designing it, where refrigeration is a core element, because today our lives are dependent on fresh produce, on fresh fish, on fresh meat and chicken, on fresh dairy, fresh eggs. And we want them to not just last, but last consistently, correctly, and be just inert, be sleeping in luxury, and be ready for us when we are ready to cook. And that's the smart kitchen.
Absolutely. And Kapil, from food and creativity to let's talk about technology. Now, liebherr has been exclusively in the refrigeration space for many decades now. Why does that specialization really matter? And now, listening to all of these views, do you think India is ready for fully integrated cooling? And, how has the uptake been so far in India?
We were ready always. I mean,
Yeah.
Indians, basically, we love food. And kitchen is a place where we say there all 3 elements meet: Jal, Vayu, Agni. The fire, earth, and water. So it has to be designed properly, for the functionality. And where we come as a specialist, as you said, we are making only fridge, and we take a lot of pride into it, because we are really specialist about the refrigerator, and we make only refrigerator. In this fully integrated refrigerator, what we are talking about, that provides the modularity, the advantages to the Indian houses. Recently, there is a family, they came and they bought, because the parents are vegetarian, kids are non-vegetarian, it's a joint family.
Very good
They
plus.
realize there is a fridge. How do we have a fridge where both the
Segregated.
father and son, they can live together, they love each other. They don't want a separate house. So what they did, they put one column which is a non-vegetarian food. As simple as that. It's not that the same fridge is, competing. So there are, it provides a lot of solution space. I can keep talking about this, but the best thing about these fridges are, it liberates you. You can put where you want. It is not that necessary you need to have so much space. We save space, sustainability, we save energy, and they look beautiful because they hide. They are something, they are like a woman in a house. My wife always says that you guys don't value. The day I leave, you guys will realize my value, because everything goes for a toss.
Yeah.
So this is like a refrigerator. So I always compare.
Your wife is not going to appreciate the comparison, let me tell you.
So fridge is like a wife, because till the time fridge is working, nobody is respecting a fridge.
Aww.
The day the fridge stops working, everybody realizes, oh my God, my fridge is not working.
Till she's cool, it's fine. The day she gets...
You have amazing, your servicing is such that you don't even allow us to have a downtime with the broken down fridge, because you replace it immediately or you come fix it
as a better
immediately.
half.
So,
Very good. Yeah.
All right, okay. So jokes apart, all right, Reza, before we close out this segment, one quick question to you. Now, we've all spoken about, the things we should be doing and the things architects and interior designers are doing. What are the 3 things that perhaps architects should stop doing now when it comes to kitchen design? 3, very briefly, things that you feel.
Firstly, I say functionality is very important. Second is you integrate it with the integrated refrigerators and, so that the kitchen is not cluttered. The kitchen is a clean area. It's a part of the living room. You can really show it off to your guests. And, it can be a pride, because that lady of the house, she should be proud of the kitchen, because she's like the kitchen queen. So I would say that's my side.
On that note, it's time to head into a short break. On the other side, we'll discuss quiet luxury, sustainability, the future of kitchen design, and what this distinguished jury will be looking for in the winning entries. Stay with us. Welcome back to liebherr Kitchen Design Masters, inspiring excellence in partnership with News 18 Network. We are in conversation with the distinguished jury that will evaluate some of India's finest kitchen designs. I want to come to you, Jimmy, next. You've built high-end resorts with villas, and the idea that you've often spoken about is that of quiet luxury. That true luxury is experienced, it is not announced. Now, when you think of that in terms of the kitchen, what would you say quiet luxury looks like? And especially where even the refrigerator doesn't really announce itself, but it has silently made itself a very integral part of the space. Would you say that's the ultimate expression of quiet luxury?
So, Mridu, quiet luxury needs to be defined, and the world has been trying to find the right definition. It means different things to different people. So the goalpost keeps moving. However, if we define luxury in today's day and age, where everybody can afford everything, it's the subtleness of luxury. It's the subtleness of things. Subtleness of things within a kitchen perspective is integrated equipment, and it begins with the integrated refrigerator, where the equipment start disappearing into the cabinetry, into the walls, into the surfaces. Most of the kitchens in today's day and age, where you need to pull out equipments and use them, have started having pocket shutters. So you kind of slide the doors inside and you have the equipments to your availability. You shut the doors and the kitchen looks sleek, combined. All of this happens and begins with a designer understanding human-centric design. Some time back, you were speaking to Rajiv when you mentioned the word design thinking. I think design thinking, human-centric design is at the core of everything. How do you, as a designer, build in ergonomics into everything that you're doing with the science of human-centric design? Building in integrated refrigerators is a no-brainer. It has multiple advantages, and there is literally not a single disadvantage. So that's a no-brainer. It can begin with that, and then integrating within the cabinetry all the other equipments. Instead of using them as tabletop models, you have built-in equipments across that gives you allows you surfaces which are flush and finished. Along with ergonomics, multiple of other things need to come in, which is lighting design in the kitchen. Have the ability to have different shades of lighting during the course of the day, having the right luminosity of lighting only at the surface where you're cooking, and not the rest of the kitchen is blaring with bright lights in the middle of the evening or at late at night. Air circulation, how do you allow the minimum number of air changes within a kitchen? So the science of kitchen design is a little more complicated than most designers think of it as pure aesthetics. With things changing in our country and design rapidly catching up with the rest of the world, human-centric design will play a pivotal role. But I think there has to be brutal honesty. Is the family going to cook themselves, or are the servants cooking? Is the cook cooking? How many outside parties are there and how many caterers are coming? So your whole design has to be centered around these answers, and there has to be brutal honesty. And when you have brutal honesty, you get to enjoy the fruits of a well-designed kitchen by a good designer like Noza. And I think it makes a happy family.
Well said. And Monica, I saw you agreeing very strongly with what Jimmy was saying. Now, you've designed homes at the Camellias as well for over 1,000 luxury families. So what does the luxury consumer of today really want from his or her kitchen? Like Jimmy was saying, the brutal reality, are you even going to cook yourself, or is it going to be help that's going to be cooking for you? Do these questions come up when you discuss kitchens? And perhaps, what's the most different thing you've done in a kitchen for a luxury consumer?
If I were to talk about luxury, for me, it is the ability to buy yourself extra time to do things that you enjoy. You were talking about liberating yourself, right, from this appliance, the integrated fridges and all these smartly designed kitchens. What are they literally giving you and liberating you from? The unnecessary need to clean. There are no nooks and crevices where dust, mites, rodents, food is going to get settled and hidden. I don't want to spend my time cleaning unnecessarily. So somebody like me who likes a clutter-free, minimal space, I want everything stylish during the process, not at the end of the day, right? So if your process is going to be clutter-free, you need to be thinking about integrated appliances, and that is what is going to buy you more time. I'd rather spend 2 hours reading a book by my window or daydreaming or planning my day than worrying about cleaning around those messy, unseen corners, you know.
Absolutely.
So that for me is prime importance. That totally is luxury for me. I don't care how many appliances you have, but what you have need to be the very best. Clutter-free living is just mindful living. It's so happy, you know.
Fair. So in your experience with luxury consumers today, are integrated refrigerators the very basic expectation now?
It's the least. It's the least. And like you were saying, you know, the modularity part of it, I can grow it as big or as small as my family needs, or how, like you were saying, how often we entertain, right? Or how often we travel. Like we were talking about, you know, storing your supplies if it's a retreat home for you, or a holiday home for you. Or, you know, if you expect too many guests and you like to entertain at home. So it's the modularity of it. I love opening it like a closet and saying, all right, this is how we're stocked, and then going to the next set. So it helps me with the smallest of kitchens, even if it's a satellite kitchen at a big farm, imagine. So you need the petitest of your fridges, and, you know, and of course the other appliances invisibly going in, blending in. Yet you have your main kitchen or your back of the house kitchen. So you can grow your fridge or your other things as much as you want. And like you rightly said, it depends on what kind of a family you are, to each their own.
Absolutely.
So this flexibility of to each their own is, for me, the ultimate.
Very important.
Yeah.
All right. Chef Suvir, you've called the kitchen a culinary and a spiritual haven. As the only chef on this jury, what are you going to be noticing in these submissions that architects and designers perhaps may not?
I want to see what they do with placement of stove, refrigeration. Is there a left out, forgotten a piece of equipment? Is it a smart equipment that not only looks good, but is practical? I want to see how they use stone, how they use texture, but most importantly, how they use the human being's inner mojo to be reflected in the design of the kitchen. And refrigeration, and both food that is refrigerated and frozen. We want both to be there, readily accessible, and I think liebherr does that. Very happy, and I want to see what they do with it. And you can have all the finishes of the world done to them. So make them an integral part, make your kitchen come alive, because it's smart, it's savvy, and it's sassy as you are.
Kapil, integrated kitchens require a lot of collaboration with architects, with designers, technologists, even academicians to get new ideas. You've launched the liebherr Design Circle with that thought process in mind. How has that been so far, and what's the role that you're expecting it to play in building this entire ecosystem?
So to begin with, the whole thing we started just to collaborate with them, to have a conversation. But now this is, as we are growing, there are already about 1,000 architects who are already connected.
Wow.
So it has become a fantastic platform to have a conversation, and it is more of a learning for us. So it has become a feedback mechanism for us. So they are using the fridge, at the same time they are telling, why don't we have this? Why don't you have thought about this? Why don't we do this? So this is something which is a very collaborative. And in this whole exercise, the designs which the entries we are getting, we are currently, our source for the entries is this design circle, because that is immediately available with us.
Right. And Rajiv, sustainability is becoming a part of the conversation as far as, interior decoration, design, architecture are concerned. What should young aspiring architects keep in mind as far as, sustainability is concerned when specifying appliances and designing kitchens of the future?
See, while the entire country is talking about sustainable design, they should also know that the equipments are also sustainable in a way because they are ranked by the Green Building Council. The largest consumer of energy is the building industry. And therefore, the least if we consume, we are good in design. is something that we convey. While you are celebrating an idea of a kitchen or of any space or any equipment, if you are not doing it with respect to the height of a human being, then you're actually causing pain. So it is very important to have a fantastic cooking platform. But if it is of a wrong height, you should be ergonomically right. I think
Correct.
Jimmy said that very well. The other thing is, a lady of the house, the man of the house should equally feel comfortable to go to a same space, and that is what I call it accessibility. You should be universally designing a kitchen so that it is accessible even to a person on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And that becomes very important part of design. So that's an efficient design. So design is not that looks only good, it also works well.
Yeah.
And it gives you an experience which otherwise you will find it difficult to go back to in a kitchen, because I can't do this, I can't do that. There was another idea which students came out with the refrigerator. He said, okay, every time I have to take the front door out while opening, why don't they have lateral drawers? I pick out only one because I want just one thing in the refrigerator. I know where it is. So but then they said that we don't understand the engineering of the cooling. We are not air conditioning designers. And therefore, it becomes very important for them to understand ventilation, air changes, I think it has been said. And other thing is, which I feel very important, is storage of services. How do you service a kitchen for cleanliness? There should be easy mechanism. You just vacuum your space out for cleanliness. You just have a Drain-X that takes care of all the garbage, that takes care of all the extra vegetables. And you see to it that while you serve food, the people eating feel like it has come from a great kitchen. I think that is very important.
Absolutely.
The feeling that you give to people is, don't worry, the food is clean, the food is good, and comes out of the great space called the kitchen, done by us.
I think something that goes long into being sustainable is one. You said one thing: consume less. That's a very great thing, but consume local.
Absolutely.
So now, when things are made, let's say in India and consumed in India, you're not spending mindlessly on shipping. That's the least you can do for sustainability, and that's the easiest you can do. And then when products, we really copy a lot of other countries because, they're looking beautiful, but the context of India. So now with liebherr doing these systems in India, they are made for the tropicality of India. All of us, right? Our extreme weathers. So it's sustainable, it's made for my country, it's to be consumed by my country. So it's not about saying, okay, yeah, it looks good, but it doesn't work, my dear, for your context. So that's
It's very,
important.
very customized to what
That's
the
extremely
Indian
important.
consumer wants. All right, let me also get in Chef Suvir on this. Now, Chef, we often think of refrigeration as a storage. But from a chef's perspective, how much does precise refrigeration influence things like freshness, flavor, and food waste?
It's the most important piece of the puzzle, because if our cream is curdled, if our cheese is rancid, if our nuts and legumes and beans that we are keeping in storage from foreign lands, if they turn rancid, if the dhania ka patta that we brought in the morning is wilted and yellow and nasty looking, forget it. So refrigeration is the epicenter of a good kitchen. And if you do it right, if you make it look good, and if it's accessible to you between the stove, there should be no more than 2 arms length between the stove and the refrigeration. You've hit the nail on the head, and cooking will be easy breezy, and you'll be making beautiful meals that people will be desperate to eat at your home, and you'll be saying goodbye to everyday restaurant cooking or Zomato deliveries.
All right, so let's also quickly talk about Kitchen Design Masters. And as jury members, what are you going to be expecting out of the entries? Nazair, if I can come to you first. We are expecting entries from across India. What ideas would personally excite you the most? What are you looking forward to in seeing kitchen design ideas?
One of the things that we spoke about was sustainability. If a product lasts you for 20 years as against 10 years, it's far more sustainable than getting rid of the garbage that you're creating with a redundant piece of equipment, So I feel that anything that we design, if it's not designed for a minimum of 20, in my practice, we design for 40 years use. And if a piece of equipment or a home gives way within 40 years, I think that's not great sustainable design. You must create less garbage. You must create less stuff which you're throwing away because it's not of a great quality. And that, in my opinion, is very, very high in the list of what materials you use, how you use them, and how long they last you in the relevant design as well as functionality.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, Nozair. Reza, what are you going to be looking forward to in Kitchen Design Masters entries?
So I would say it should be functional. I think functionality is the most important thing. If a kitchen may look good and if it's not functional, that's a no-no. You don't want to just keep on looking at a kitchen, you want to use it. And, if the lady of the house is happy, everything is fine. And by making it functional, making it right ergonomics, then everything is fine. I think that's very important.
All right.
I want two things: beauty with brains.
Beauty
want
with
both.
brains. That's about it. That's
Yeah.
it. Rajiv?
See, I would like a space that not only transforms the cook, but also transforms the space by designing it in such a way that it creates an environment of a space before cooking and after cooking. I think that's very important. So if you want to add brains to the beauty, and then you are actually going somewhere and
Beautiful combination.
taking the idea forward here.
Right. Chef, what's the one quality that in your view defines a truly world-class kitchen?
A place where color, attitude, refrigeration, stove power, knives, utensils, produce, and pantry are all doing a happy dance. So if you have a beautiful Liebherr refrigerator, but you don't have a good stove, you're not happy. So get that BioLite Liebherr refrigeration, get the strongest stove you can get. If you do a lot of stir fries, get a wok stove and have all the elements of cooking around you, smartly planned, and work with your designer from day one. Don't make it an afterthought. So the important thing is to integrate all the equipment happily together and making it an accessible kitchen where you, your muscles and your mind are all relaxed and excited to be in there working and sharing with friends and family.
Jimmy, what are you going to be looking forward to in the entries that come in the competition?
For me, the exciting part of any entries and competition is knowledge sharing. If these entries, or via the medium of these entries, we are able to democratize knowledge on technicalities that go within the design or design thinking and human-centric thinking, I think that's what the kind of entries that intrigue me. How different are they? Are they taking the beaten path, or are they actually disrupting and leapfrogging us to the next level of thinking? And how does it help my country? How does it help my citizens to be more happier within a given environment?
Kapil, what about you?
No, I am not the part of the jury.
But let's say what's a truly world-class kitchen to you?
See, the only thing is I'm seeing more and more pictures of the kitchens, and I'm just planning whenever I make my home, that is something which I'm going to make like this. Beautiful.
With a liebherr refrigerator.
Obviously.
For sure.
So somebody spoke about durability. So I want to ask you that question. As far as refrigerators are concerned, now durability is something that everybody looks for also, right? It's at least a 10-year purchase when you're buying a fridge. On the durability front, you have anything to say about liebherr's offerings to the Indian consumer?
See, all the component and the parts we are using, Noza said 20 years. So 20 years is the minimum we look forward to. Any part is tested. Even for the door opening, I think it is tested for 5 lakh time. It is open and shut for 5 lakh time. So most of the things, the component we are using, because we are not making things as per our standard, is as per the German. So they are known for the quality. Right. So the tolerance and everything, every material we are using, we use sustainability. We are using most of the part is, virgin material. Even for the carton box we are using, that is also virgin. So we are very, very particular about, Europeans are very particular about this environment, sustainability, So those are very important things.
Fantastic. Well, to close the conversation, we are going to do a quick rapid fire round. So you have to tell me one word that comes to mind when you think of what a world-class kitchen truly means to you. Just one word. Let's start with the virtual guests first. Nozer, one word that defines a world-class kitchen for you.
It's not a kitchen.
All right. Jimmy?
Nostalgic family happiness.
And Chef Suvir?
A sanctuary for healing mind, body, and soul.
Family-centric.
Family-centric.
Efficient.
Innovative.
Liebherr.
No.
Good product placement there, huh, Kapil? Thank you, gentlemen, and thank you, Monica. Thank you, all of you, for being here today and sharing your incredible thoughts, experiences, and insights. Well, today's discussion has made one thing clear. The best kitchens aren't defined by luxury alone. They are defined by thoughtful design, seamless integration, sustainability, and the ability to enhance everyday living. If you're an architect or interior designer with a kitchen project that you are truly proud of, this is your opportunity to showcase your work. Entries for liebherr Kitchen Design Masters Inspiring Excellence are now open across multiple categories. You can submit them via the link on the screen or connect with your liebherr Design Circle representative right away. The most outstanding kitchens will be showcased on our platform and celebrated at a special gathering. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to look forward to many such entries and discovering India's next generation of exceptional kitchen design. Until next time, thanks for joining us. Goodbye.